Hey guys, and welcome to BeardYGO. Today I've got a pretty fun deck for you, and it's probably one of the most fun decks that I've played in quite a while. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what you think. So here we have Skull Servants. The reason why this is probably one of the most fun decks that I've played is basically just the whole concept of small little monsters that end up becoming quite big, and yeah, it's got a very nice way of OTKing just out of the blue. A lot of people that I've faced aren't really used to this type of deck, so I've been having quite a lot of fun at locals, and everyone that has played against me so far has enjoyed the deck along with me. But yeah, let's get into the deck profile. So we'll start with the main deck, and we've got the Skull Servant package first. So obviously we need 3 of the vanilla Skull Servant, the OG. Alright, then we've got the new Skull Servant card, or the latest Skull Servant card, which is white baking. So basically, if it is sent to the grave, then you get to search your deck for any 2 monsters that list Skull Servant in its text, and then discard a card. Also, it's basically a hand trap as well. So if a level 3 or lower zombie monster you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can just discard this card instead. So it's quite nice to prevent your board from getting nuked. For example, if you are trying to OTK with a King of the Skull Servants, then let's say they Mirror Force you, for example. Alright, so Mirror Force doesn't work because we get to drop this guy from our hand. So yeah, very nice. Probably one of the best cards in the deck. Definitely one of the best starters. Right, so then we move on to White Prince. So we're playing 3 copies of White Prince. And White Prince basically is a double Foolish Burial. So if it's sent to the grave, then you get to send a Skull Servant and Lady in White from your hand and or deck to the grave. What White Prince also does is basically you can just banish himself along with 2 other Skull Servants from your grave, and then special summon a King of the Skull Servants from your deck. The very nice thing about this deck is that all of the Skull Servant themed cards are treated as Skull Servant in the graveyard. Alright, so then we've got 1 copy of White Princess. Now White Princess is very nice. She's got a specific effect that when she is normal or special summoned, then she can just Foolish Burial a White Prince from your deck, and then both players' turns you can just send her to the grave, and then all monsters on the field do 300 attack and defense for every single level or rank that they have. So yeah, very nice. You can drop like a Conductor down to 500 since it's a level 10. Very nice card. So yeah, then I'm playing 3 White Mare. A White Mare is basically an extender, or just helps you to beef up your King of the Skull Servants. Now you can discard White Mare to either target a banished King of the Skull Servant or Lady in White and special summon it, or you can take a Skull Servant and then or White Mare that is banished and just return it to the graveyard. And then we are running 3 copies of Lady in White, and Lady in White has a nice on-field effect that level 3 or lower zombie monsters on the field, except Lady in White, can't be destroyed by battle, and they're unaffected by spell and traps. So yeah, that's also quite nice, but we basically just use her as an extender off of White Mare. And then the last Skull Servant card is obviously 3 King of the Skull Servants. So he gains 1000 attack for every Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants in your grave. So he gets pretty beefy. You can definitely easily OTK with him sitting on over 10,000 even. But yeah, if King of the Skull Servants were to be destroyed by battle, then you can just banish another King of the Skull Servants or Skull Servant from your grave to just special summon it back again. So that's it for the Skull Servant package. So now we're going to be moving on to our zombie package, and we're obviously starting off with 3 Uni-Zombie. Probably one of the best zombie cards to ever be made. Definitely a wonderful starter. Nice thing is that it's a tuner, so we can just go into Hulk plays as well. This also facilitates a lot of our 1-card combos. So for example, we can Foolish Burial a White Baking or White Prince, or discard it if it's in our hands, and then that just gets our combo going. Then basically just adding as 2 extra copies of Uni-Zombie, we've got Gozuki. So Gozuki allows us to extend as well through the Foolish Burial effect, but also if he's sent to the grave and we have another zombie in our grave, then we can special summon a zombie from our hand. So this can also allow us to just extend from our hand further as well, probably even bring out a King of the Skull Servants that we hard drew, and that could even be pretty big. So yeah, then backing up all of our zombies, we have 3 copies of Mizuki. Now Mizuki is one of the most important cards in this deck, mainly because we do combo quite a lot, and yeah, he just helps us to get extra bodies on the board for us to link off, synchro off, etc. So yeah, 3 Mizuki is definitely a must, and it really comes up quite a lot. Then we are running 1 Plague Spreader Zombie, and the reason for this is because it is a tuner. It is a very easy way to go into our Hulk plays, as well as just facilitates one of our combos where it basically guarantees us to go into a certain route, so that we don't have to rely on chance when we are trying to make our board. And yeah, I'll explain about that as we move on to the extra deck. Then we are also running 1 copy of Doom King. Now he's just basically there for if we get into our Zombie World engine. He's just such a good card, recurable, disruption, negation, and yeah, he gets rid of a lot of problems that we can come across. Then helping out the Doom King to get our Zombie World on the field, we've got Necro World Banshee. So Zombie World in the field zones can't be destroyed by card effects if she's on the field, and neither player can target it with card effects. But the best effect that it's got is quick effect. You can just banish this card from field to grave and then activate Zombie World directly from your hand or deck. So yeah, really good card. And then the way we get our Doom King out usually is through Glow Up Bloom. Now this is the only copy of a level or a high level zombie for Bloom to get out. So if we already have this is pretty useless, so we're not really going to be using this. And if we do send it, it's fine, we just drop it down. Mizuki can always special summon it from the grave, and we don't have to use this effect to lock ourselves into zombies. So yeah, then that is it for the zombie package. And now we move on to our danger package. So we are running 2 copies of Danger Mothman. Now the reason for Mothman is because it's a level 4, and it also allows us to draw a card, discard a card, and that helps a lot in this deck. Sometimes we've got 1-card combo stuff that we want to go and just discard, or just extenders just need discarding, and that can really help us in the long run for the game if we're just setting up resources, or can even just facilitate OTKs. Then we are also running one copy of Danger Nessie, one copy of Danger Snack, and one copy of Jackalope. Now these basically are just to assist with digging into our danger package, or just getting a little bit more draws, as well as getting bodies on the field so that we can go into our combo. These really help a lot, but they're not really needed, but they do come up quite often. Right, moving on to our little dragon package. Now these are literally just there to extend. They help the combo a lot, and yeah, deck thinning allows us to also get that extra draw because we are playing the chaos space for these. And yeah, rank 4 plays as well. Very, very good cards. And then we move on to what will definitely give away something in the extra deck, which is 2 copies of Mecha Phantom Beast Coltwing and 1 copy of Despot 1. So we are going for the whole Despot Auroradon shenanigans. And yeah, I basically built this deck off of inspiration from another deck that I saw when Linkross was still around, and so I decided, okay, well, Linkross isn't around, what can we use to spam tokens, and Auroradon was the next best thing. Moving on to the spell cards. So we have 3 copies of Burial from a Different Dimension. This really helps when it comes to recycling our Mizukis, and yeah, basically just allows us to extend further. I mean, who doesn't want to use 6 Mizukis in a turn if you just draw 1, you know? And let's say you got into your 3 Mizukis, get one of these, you basically have 6 Monster Reborns. Every deck would really enjoy that. Then we are running 3 Chaos Space. Now we are only running the White Dragon and the Black Dragon. We're not running Chaos Creator, and that's mainly just because I haven't been able to obtain that yet. But once I do, I'll definitely add it to the deck. At the moment, 3 Chaos Space is basically just there so that we can see one of them, you know, just get into those dragons for our extending, which really helps, plus the extra draw and recursion of our monsters that we do banish is also very good. Then we have our draw power, so we've got 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Majority of our deck is dark, so it makes sense, plus we can recur our banish monsters as well through White May. If we banish the Lady in White or King of the Skull Servants, White May can also special summon it. Then we also have the Burial from a Different Dimension as well, so it really helps. Then we have 3 copies of Drag Down into the Grave. This allows us to basically remove any threats from our opponent's hands, as well as force our opponents sometimes to discard what we want them to discard. Then the draw also is pretty good. I don't really enjoy giving my opponent draws, but yeah, sometimes it just helps to get rid of something really nasty that they've got, and getting a draw for ourselves is also quite nice. Then I'm running 2 copies of Dark World Dealings as well, and this is basically also just to get that dump from the hand so that we can get our effects off. And then we are running 2 copies of Zombie World, and the reason why I'm running 2 and not 1 is because we do have a bit of random chance in this deck, so you don't really want to lose one of these copies and then not being able to get the whole Doom King shenanigans going. And for our last 3 cards, we are running 1 card destruction. Again, some draw power. We are running 1 for 1. One of the best cards in the deck. This is a... well, if we open this and Mizuki, then we basically just have a 1.5 or let's say 2 card OTK. And then we are running 1 Foolish Burial, because Mizuki and Foolish Burial is just massive combo for this deck as well. Literally just those 2 cards. I can't see any other zombie deck that can go off if they only had a Mizuki and a Foolish Burial in their hand. So yeah, very, very surprising deck. And let's get on to the extra deck. So we have 1 Linkuriboh. Now Linkuriboh is just there because a lot of our deck is level 1. Really helps out, helps us survive if we have an OTK at the opponent. Also helps for our combo line as well. Then we are running 1 Relinquished Anima, because if you're playing level 1s, you should definitely be playing this card. This is massive bait, and if it goes off, you're getting rid of a threat as well. And on top of that, for if we're going first, this also facilitates our starting combo. Then we have 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker. Now this is to protect our zombie world, also recur our zombie world, plus it allows us to get rid of a card in our hand. For example, if we have a Mizuki in our hand, we can just dump that, get extra extending off of that. And yeah, he's also a machine, which really helps, especially if you can't get into that Despot 1 play. Then yeah, he really helps to get Auroradon on the field as well. Then we are running 1 copy of Vendread Savior. Vendread Savior is probably one of the best going second cards for this deck, and it boosts your King of the Skull Servants by a good 4,000 to 5,000, to be honest. So yeah, really good card. Also, it sends for cost as well, so that's really nice. You can dump any zombie monster from your deck and then just reduce the opponent's monster's attack by 200, multiplied by the level of the zombie monster that you sent to the graveyard. Okay, then we are running 1 Hulk, and yeah, it's standard. We are running Hulk plays. Then we are running 1 Curious, the Lightsworn Dominion, and Curious is actually very good. Curious is a Foolish Burial for anything, and then gives us extra 3 mills, so we got a better chance going off from that. And if Curious is also destroyed, we basically just get to add any card from our grave to our hand. So it's actually very good. For example, I've had someone ogre this, and then I don't get the triple mill, but I do get the recursion from the grave. And a lot of times you can get this off without even normal summoning, and then you can just like dump a Unizombie, for example, and then you just get that Unizombie back and then start with Unizombie combo from there on. Then we are running 1 copy of Mecha Phantom Beast Auroradon, and this is just the way our combo is gonna go. Just super spam tokens and yeah, go into the whole synchro summoning. And then our last link monster that we are playing is 1 Apollosa, and this really helps. A lot of times you don't get it off first turn. A lot of times you actually just bring it out mid game, even after removing resources from your opponent, and that helps quite a bit. I have opened this quite a few times in my opening combo, where I've just gone quite crazy with the combo. Like, the heart of the cards was on my side, you know. And yeah, really good card. Helps to face off against a lot of decks. Moving on to our Exceed monsters. Now we are running one Dugaris the Timeless, and that is why our level 4s are so important, because this is Monster Reborn, it's OTK enabler, allows us to dig more into our deck as well. So yeah, very very good card. And to pair off with Dugaris, we are running one Drill Driver Vespernato. And this is a very interesting card. So it does piercing. You can literally just slap this over this as soon as you've used Dugaris effect. Then you've got this, it's a 2/5 beta, so it does piercing, which is nice. On top of that, if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, then you can basically just target a level 5 or lower monster in your grave and special summon it. So it allows you to maintain a bit of field advantage. It floats into a lot of your combo enablers as well. So yeah, really really good card. And then we finish off with the synchros. So for the whole Auroradon play, we are running one Crystron Quandux. Now Quandux also is a machine, so it also allows us to get into our Auroradon as well if we are struggling for the whole machine vibe. Then we are running one FA Dawn Dragster, and this is just our generic spell trap negate. We are running our Omni, which is Barload Savage Dragon, and yeah, Savage is really nice. The nice thing is that we usually equip the Curious, so it's got the 3 counters. So yeah, really really good. And then also to just back up our combo, we've got these 2 cards. So firstly, Chaos Ruler, the Chaotic Magical Dragon. This is really really good for zombies in general. And yeah, so you basically just mold the top 5 of your deck out of 1 light or dark, and then the rest go to the grave. Plus he also extends by recurring himself back, even though he gets banished afterwards. That's fine as well, because he also allows us to, let's say mid game, push himself into space of being recurred with a chaos space and give us an extra draw as well. And then our last card rounding up our extra deck is one Ravenous Crocodragon. Now this guy is basically just there to give us a double draw. Sometimes we do end on him, and getting that extra pop is quite good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and I will definitely be uploading a video with regards to this deck's plays and combos as well. And yeah, have a good one. Cheers.